When I first found out about everything, my reaction was honestly just, oh, okay. I didn't overthink it and I didn't spiral. I simply took it in and moved on. That's how I handled it at first. But if you thought Melody had already been through the toughest storms in her life, think again. This time, the drama didn't just play out on social media, and it didn't end with a heated on-camera argument. No, this time it went straight into a courtroom. If you aren't following Marcetta yet, now is the time. She's the district attorney in this case, and trust me, she's serving insight, perspective, and clarity like no one else. This isn't casual gossip you scroll past. This is high stakes real, and it has the power to completely reshape the story fans thought they knew. What happened in that courtroom had fans holding their breath. Melody, known for her composure, her business smarts, and her ability to rise above chaos, was facing a moment that could completely flip her narrative. Wanda didn't just show up with attitude this time, she came with actual proof. According to insiders, the evidence was so shocking that even Melody's most loyal supporters started asking tough questions. It's important to remember that this didn't start overnight. This drama didn't begin with a single court date or a viral clip. This has been years in the making. Fans have followed every post, comment, and move, and now it all came together in a courtroom setting. Melody didn't become the woman she is today by accident. Long before the cameras, the applause, or the public admiration, she was building a life for herself and her family with careful planning, foresight, and strategy. That's why fans relate to her. She represents resilience, intelligence, and the refusal to let chaos define her. But even the strongest people face challenges, and Melody's test came in the form of Wanda. Wanda has always been outspoken, blunt, and sometimes reckless with her words. Some people admire her honesty, calling it keeping it real. Others think she crosses lines, especially when family and children are involved. Over time, the tension between Melody and Wanda grew. This wasn't small shade or minor disputes anymore. It was personal. Being in the public eye only made things worse. Every side glance, every comment, and every cryptic post stays online forever. Melody tried to take the high road, remaining calm and focusing on her business growth. But in a world where silence can be mistaken for guilt or weakness, not speaking up can be dangerous. Meanwhile, Wanda kept pushing. She claimed Melody wasn't as innocent as she appeared, suggesting manipulation behind the scenes. At first, people dismissed these claims as jealousy or attention-seeking, but repetition changes perception. When someone keeps insisting they have proof, people start paying attention, especially when the proof actually comes. And come it did, in the courtroom. The confrontation was intense, with security stepping in and fans capturing every second. But Wanda didn't rant on social media as many expected. She was meticulous, presenting legal documents, screenshots, audio recordings, and witness statements to create a full narrative challenging Melody's public image. According to insiders, the energy in the room shifted instantly. Lawyers leaned forward, and Melody, usually poised and unshakable, appeared momentarily caught off guard. That moment alone says a lot. What makes Wanda's claims so concerning is the level of detail. She wasn't accusing Melody of small gossip or minor drama. She outlined patterns, decisions, actions, and behaviors that painted a picture of someone capable of provoking conflict while maintaining a carefully controlled public persona. This is huge because Melody's brand has always been about strength, integrity, and calculated growth. If these claims gain traction, they could seriously affect everything she's built. Wanda's move to bring this to court rather than social media was strategic. It was a power move. She's standing on facts, not feelings. Now it's up to Melody to respond. So far, Melody has remained quiet. No long posts, no dramatic social media confrontations, just silence. In this world, silence can speak volumes. Some fans see it as smart restraint, letting legal counsel handle the narrative. Others read it as hesitation, scrambling to prepare a defense, or being caught off guard. Melody's options are limited: deny and contextualize, present her own evidence, or work out a discreet settlement. Once you step into a courtroom, privacy becomes fragile. Leaks happen, stories form, and public opinion begins solidifying before all facts are revealed. Fans are already taking sides. Wanda's supporters see this as the moment the mask comes off. Melody's supporters claim it's a setup, saying Wanda's long-term obsession found a new way to attack. Social media is chaotic. Clips are reanalyzed, old interviews revisited, and suddenly red flags appear in hindsight. Amid all this drama, there's a real person, Melody, facing real consequences. This impacts her family, her children, her business, and her mental health. Imagine spending years building a reputation only to watch allegations threaten everything. Or imagine finally having a chance to set the record straight after being misrepresented for years. The stakes are enormous. Friends, associates, and past collaborators are watching closely. Trust becomes fragile, alliances shift, and old conversations are scrutinized. Courtroom battles aren't about appearances, they're about facts. If Wanda's evidence holds up, Melody could face reputational, financial, and legal repercussions. Even if no criminal charges arise, her public image and brand could suffer long term. And if Melody presents counter evidence, the conflict could extend, creating months or even years of tension. This situation is a masterclass in controlling narratives and perception. Courtroom walls cannot contain it. The public watches, speculates, and forms opinions, sometimes faster than reality unfolds. Melody now stands at a critical crossroads. Every action, every post, every move, or even silence has the power to define her legacy. Will she come out stronger, vindicated, and proving her integrity? Or will this be the turning point that reshapes public perception permanently? The courtroom has only just begun to rewrite the story, and everyone, fans, critics, and media alike, are watching every move. These conflicts aren't just about winning or losing. They're about control, truth, and influence in both private and public life. As layers of the story unravel, it becomes clear the loudest voices don't always hold the full truth. Melody and Wanda's confrontation is a stark reminder that narratives can be challenged, reputations tested, and even the strongest images can be vulnerable under scrutiny. So, before jumping to conclusions, take a step back, pay attention to the details, understand the context, and remember that every angle matters. The next revelation, whether from the courtroom, social media, or insider leaks, could change everything. And when it does, we'll break it all down, piece by piece, so you can see the full story. Now, let's talk about the people involved. Melody is known for her calm and strategic approach. She's someone who thinks 10 steps ahead and rarely reacts impulsively. That's why her composure during this entire ordeal has been so impressive. But even the strongest people have limits, and being confronted with evidence in a courtroom setting after years of public scrutiny pushes anyone to their breaking point. On the other hand, Wanda has always been bold, outspoken, and unafraid to stir the pot. Some people admire her for keeping it real, but others see her behavior as crossing boundaries. In this situation, Wanda didn't just speak her mind. She came prepared, and that's what makes this different from past arguments. She presented evidence showing patterns of behavior that put Melody in a difficult position. This wasn't about a social media argument or a fleeting drama moment. It was a calculated, high-stakes confrontation. The courtroom itself became a stage where everything mattered. The way the lawyers questioned witnesses, the subtle reactions in the audience, and even the micro-expressions on Melody's face. People who were watching could feel the tension through the screen. You could see the shift in energy the moment Wanda began presenting her proof. Every detail counts in a situation like this. And in the world of reality TV meets real-life legal battles, every move can change the narrative. Fans are divided. Some support Wanda, praising her courage to bring forward evidence instead of ranting on social media. Others are loyal to Melody, believing that Wanda's claims are exaggerated or part of a long-term personal agenda. Social media exploded almost instantly. Clips from the courtroom were shared, commented on, and dissected endlessly. Old posts, interviews, and videos were revisited as fans tried to piece together the story. For Melody, the stakes go beyond public opinion. Her family and children are directly affected by this situation. Her reputation, her business interests, and her mental well-being are all on the line. Imagine building a brand and working hard to maintain your image, only to have allegations threaten everything you've achieved. Now imagine the added pressure of being in the public eye, where every reaction, or lack thereof, is scrutinized. Wanda's strategy was clear. By presenting evidence in court instead of airing grievances on social media, she sent a strong message. This is about facts, not feelings. That's a power move. In situations like this, the courtroom becomes a battleground for narrative control. Who will appear credible? Who will maintain public trust? Every detail, every document, every statement can sway opinion. Meanwhile, Melody's silence is being interpreted in many ways. Some see it as intelligent restraint, letting her legal team handle the situation. Others see hesitation or uncertainty. In public conflicts, silence is never neutral. It's always being read and analyzed. Melody must decide how to respond carefully, balancing her personal and professional interests with the public's expectations. This case also highlights a larger reality of fame and public scrutiny. When someone lives in the public eye, small conflicts can escalate into high-stakes battles. Private disagreements become public drama, and personal decisions are dissected by fans and critics alike. Every word, every facial expression, and every action is amplified. In situations like this, perception often carries as much weight as truth. The implications for both women are significant. If Wanda's claims gain credibility, it could impact Melody's career, her relationships, and her public image. If Melody responds effectively, she could reaffirm her reputation and show her supporters that she remains strong under pressure. Either way, this isn't a short-term story. It's one that will unfold over months with ripple effects for everyone involved. This situation also shows the complexity of interpersonal dynamics in reality TV. Melody and Wanda's conflict isn't just personal, it's a mix of history, perception, and strategy. Past interactions, old grudges, and long-term rivalries all play a role. The courtroom simply adds another layer, forcing both women to defend themselves in a structured, high-pressure environment. As viewers, we're watching a real-life lesson in narrative, perception, and strategy. Melody's experience demonstrates that even the most composed people can be tested. Wanda's approach shows how preparation, evidence, and persistence can shift the balance. Together, they create a story that is compelling, tense, and full of suspense. Looking forward, the next steps are crucial. Will Melody provide counter-evidence? Will the legal process favor Wanda's claims? Or will Melody successfully defend her reputation? Every decision now will have consequences, legal, personal, and public. For fans, this is more than entertainment. It's a story of resilience, strategy, and the fragile nature of public perception. In the end, this drama is a reminder that reality and perception often collide. What we see online, on camera, or in clips is just part of the story. Courtrooms, evidence, and legal processes add complexity that social media can't capture. Melody and Wanda's confrontation is a reminder that behind every headline, there's a real person navigating real consequences. Stay tuned because this story isn't over. The next developments, court updates, insider insights, and public reactions will continue to reshape how fans see both Melody and Wanda. And as always, every detail matters.